little over 4 months ago, I got married, and here is my favorite picture from our wedding day. This is a picture taken from our first dance, and it's really cute, but you can see the charcuterie boards in the background. It is a little less obvious in this black and white version, but in the one where it's color, you can totally see that there is food in the background, and I don't really love that. So I was thinking that I could also make this picture even more special by adding some embroidery on it. I printed a couple of copies. This is the larger one, which I would like to be the finished one. I hope I'll manage to do it nicely. I printed a smaller version of the same picture. It's the exact same paper, just so I can practice stitches on this one, and also to see how the paper reacts to when the needle goes through, what yarns look the best or what threads look the best. You will see that in the end. I didn't use yarn, so I used just a thicker thread. And I'm going to take you kind of through the entire process, just share the things that I've learned in the process. The first thing that I would like to say is that the size of the needle matters a lot. I began with quite a large needle, and you can see how obvious and almost the paper looks like it's broken. So I then tried with a smaller needle. My initial idea was to use all these colorful yarns that I have, but the embroidery needles are too small for the yarn to go through, so I had to kind of change that and use this is a thread, but it's not your normal thread. It's just a little bit thicker than normal thread. If you look at the test here that I have, you can see that I tried different yarns, different stitches, and some look nicer than others. I didn't really do a lot of embroidery on fabric, but I did enough to see that there is a massive difference between doing embroidery on paper and on fabric. And there are some limitations to when doing it on paper. And also I think the stitches where you have to go a lot in the same place, in the same kind of hole, that doesn't look very nice because it could create quite large holes and it looks like the paper is broken. So for the final one, I will choose some of these cute flowers here where I almost don't go at all in the paper, so it's kind of at the top. While doing this, I kind of did a bit of research, and I realized that actually paper embroidery is a thing, so I managed to watch a few videos. I didn't watch a lot of tutorials, but I realized that I could actually first puncture the paper with the pattern that I want to do and then sew on top of it, rather than kind of figuring out where the next stitch will go. So this way it's easier to plan the design without making mistakes, because every hole that you make on this paper will be visible, and it's not like on fabric, you will see it, so it's harder to cover. I'm still debating if I want to add the date at the top embroidered as well, so I'll see, but I'm not really loving how this looks. Maybe I just need to practice a bit more. So I think I'm ready to begin. So how I'm thinking to do this, maybe I will just kind of go from here like that, and from here like that, just to cover the part where we have the food in the background. But I want it to look quite organic, so I don't want it to be too kind of geometric, so I will see. The great part about this is that you can actually draw on the back of the paper. So I'm going to actually draw an outline around us, so I know where I'm not supposed to punch any holes. I think I'm just gonna go and already just draw some lines, a little bit curved. It's really hard to see on camera, but I did a very fine line around us like that, and here I am beginning to draw. Now that I have a little bit of a plan, I'll begin puncturing little holes. I will go quite close, maybe about 4 millimeters. I think the stem is done now. I used to call it the base of the flower, but I googled and I've learned that the base of the flower is actually called a stem. So I finished that. I added some little, I guess, stems here and there where I'm thinking to either add a little flower or some leaves. I think that kind of just makes it look a little more complete. And I think the next step is to add the leaves. I'm thinking to do little French knots like these ones here. I'm making one hole, then I'm wrapping the yarn, and then I'm going back through the same hole. I'm making sure I'm going very slowly. Well, good morning. I'm so close to finishing it, and I can just say that at this point I am a bit of a French knot connoisseur. I'm sorry about that. I literally love the texture of this, so I just have a little bit more to do and I'm done. Alright, so it's all done. Are you ready to see it? Ta-da! In the end, I decided to add way more green, basically more leaves here. And here you can see how it looked before, and this is how it looks now. Also, this is just such a lovely green. It just kind of brings life to the picture. I think at the beginning when I did just these coming like that, it just looked like they were coming from us, and it just didn't feel, I don't know, I didn't like it that much. So bringing some from the outside just makes it look a little bit more organic. I decided to not add the date here at the top, as to be real, no one is ever gonna forget that date. It really doesn't need to be written somewhere. Also, if you'd like to see how I made my wedding dress, I have a full video sharing all the process on my other channel. I'll make sure to insert a link in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy seeing the process. I hope this inspired you to grab a picture that you have and do some embroidery as well. It just makes it way more special, and I'm really, really happy with this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!